Let's start with a number that, honestly, it just stops you in your tracks. 1 in 11. That's how many kids in the US will lose someone close to them before they even turn 18. Think about that for a second. It's a staggering number, and it points to this quiet, widespread crisis that's happening in so many homes. And you have to understand, for a kid, losing someone isn't just about feeling sad. It's like their whole world just shatters. This quote here really nails it. Everything a child counts on to feel safe, to feel like life is predictable, it can all just disappear overnight. It rocks the very foundation of their world and leaves them trying to figure out this incredibly scary new reality. In that pain, that confusion, it doesn't just stay at home. It spills over into every part of their life, especially school. Teachers see this firsthand every single day. Look at these numbers. A survey showed that 87% of teachers notice grieving kids have a hard time concentrating. 82% see them pull away, just completely disengage. And 72% see it jump in absenteeism. So grief isn't just an emotion, right? It's a real barrier to a kid's education and their future.
So when you see a problem this big, this profound, the question becomes, what can we possibly do to help? Well, that's where the story starts to turn. It's where we find a little hope, and it starts with an amazing organization called Abba's Child Grief Camps.
Their mission is so beautifully simple, but man, is it powerful. It's not about trying to magically erase the pain. It's about reigniting the one thing that loss tries so hard to snuff out: hope. Every single thing they do, every activity, every conversation, it's all designed around that one life-changing goal.
And their whole approach is just brilliant. This is not some quiet, somber, clinical place. No way. It's a camp. It's low pressure, which means kids never have to talk if they don't want to. But it's also high energy, packed with fun and adventure. And maybe the most important part, they're surrounded by other kids and adults who just get it. There's no explaining needed, and that creates this instant feeling of being safe and understood.
So how does all this fun and understanding actually turn into real, deep healing? Well, it's not just about giving kids a fun week away. There's a really thoughtful and compassionate philosophy behind everything they do, a process that guides these kids and their families.
These 5 core aims, they're like a roadmap for the healing journey. First, they just walk alongside these kids, so they know they're not alone. Then, they help them cherish their memories, turning them into treasures instead of sources of pain. They energize hope by connecting families with others who are on the same path. And, so importantly, they remind them that it's okay to live again, to laugh, to play, to feel joy. And finally, they encourage them to start a new chapter.
And remembering to live, a huge part of that is just letting kids be kids. That's why they balance all the emotional work with pure, simple fun. We're talking archery, horseback riding, zip lines, all the good stuff. And maybe the best activity of all, just making new friends who already understand your story.
They're also really smart about how they offer support. They have summer grief camps, which are amazing for kids to connect with other kids their own age. But they also have family retreats, because sometimes the whole family needs to heal together, to reconnect and figure out how to move forward as a team.
So, okay, the big question, right? Does all of this actually work? We've talked about the philosophy, the process, but what about the results? Let's take a look at the incredible real-world impact this support has.
Look, you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from a mom's letter, it says it all. She says her daughter came home from camp a different kid, ready to have the kinds of conversations they'd been struggling with for so long. The camp didn't just give her a week of fun, it opened the door for real healing to continue back at home. That's huge.
And the impact doesn't stop with just one child or one family. It creates these amazing ripples of hope. Families feel stronger, more able to reconnect with their communities. Kids learn that it's okay, that it's safe to talk about how they feel. And the whole community becomes more aware and better equipped to support those who are hurting. It really lifts everyone up.
And that brings us to the final and, I think, most important part of all of this. Because understanding the problem is one thing, but becoming part of the solution, that's everything. And this is your invitation to join this incredible story of healing. So here's how you can do it. On April 12th, 2026, right here in Portland, Oregon, Abba's Child is hosting a fundraiser called The Stories We Carry. It's going to be an evening of stories, of remembrance, and a chance to raise the funds that make all of this possible for kids and families. It's a chance to step right into this story and make a real, tangible difference. And what's so cool is you can see exactly what your support does. It's not just an abstract donation. Check this out.
For $250, you can sponsor a child for a full day of camp. $1,250 supports a kid for an entire week. And $4,000, that sponsors a whole family for a retreat weekend. Your contribution becomes a specific, powerful act of hope for someone who needs it most.
Everything you need to get involved is super easy to find. Just head over to their website, abbachild.org. You can learn more, you can buy tickets to the fundraiser, or you can make a donation right now. It's all right there.
So, we end right back where we started, with the kids. The work Abba's Child is doing makes sure that no child has to walk through their grief all alone. And that really just leaves one simple, final question for all of us to think about. Will you help a child find their hope again?